the civil war in the Republican Party within the context of this Fox case. Murdoch has apparently had enough. Now, he's been back and forth and on all sides of Trumpism, but Trump's losing streak had Murdoch and the network trying to find a very tangible alternative in DeSantis. Some remember this roast that came from a paper that Murdoch does exert a lot of control over, the New York Post, part of that same News Corp Fox empire where Murdoch still runs things, Trumpty Dumpty. Murdoch has also admitted that some of the hosts endorsed Trump's lies. He confessed he knew it was all really crazy. He didn't stop it. And Trump is in a kind of a disbelief about all of this, naming the powerful, sometime ally, sometimes adversary, calling him and the Fox News folks incompetent rhinos, MAGA-hating globalist rhinos, and saying they got to get out of the news business. Now, Fox has what some call a soft ban on Trump and his family appearing these days. Murdoch wanted to make Trump something of a non-person for the Fox audience by the time this was all over. That we have from the case. Then over the weekend, Fox did air part of Trump's CPAC speech. It had conspiracy theories. It had some lies. It's one of the few public speeches he's actually given since running for president. So far, his campaign has not done much of this. And this was actually, we counted, the first time that they'd aired Trump on Fox in almost half a year, in about 5 months.
We can't stop him at the ballot box. You know, they tried that in 2016. How did that work out? Not too good. And we actually, and I have to say this, I hope Fox doesn't turn off, but we did much better in 2020 than we did in 2016. Much better.
It's kind of rare to see all these forces out in the open. They don't like to work this way, but they're under significant pressure, as I explained, billion-dollar pressure. So we're seeing evidence come out. We're seeing these sort of usual backroom fights spill out. We're seeing candidates use time at the lectern, and Trump does talk about the media more than most, sure, but to call out the billionaire guy behind the guy. And this may be a key part of the early kind of shadowboxing of this Republican primary. DeSantis hasn't jumped in yet. People don't see anyone in the race right now who could stop Trump. And the guy who got a pardon from Trump, who ran his 2016 campaign, and they've been on and off too, but Steve Bannon also, in a sign that this seems to be somewhat orchestrated, went publicly after Murdoch to back Trump.
Okay, Murdoch, here's the way it's going to be, brother. You've disrespected Donald J. Trump long enough. He hasn't been on Fox News since he announced for presidency. Remember, Murdoch, you've deemed Trump's not going to be president. Well, we've deemed that you're not going to have a network because we're going to fight you every step of the way. The Murdochs immediately have to start covering President Trump.
Pretty striking to see this all spill out there. I mean, you could have skipped some of CPAC, but those moments right there we wanted to show you because it's all out in the open. And on the one hand, it shows the stakes of this thing and that this really is a channel to the Republican primary base at a time where Fox is under pressure to change while it's being exposed for being even worse than people thought. On the other hand, the question I'm about to take to my next guest is, how weak of a former presidential campaign are you, the former president running, when your top people are out here publicly begging for one interview on Fox News? Josh Marshall joins me, founder and editor of Talking Points Memo, and a shrewd analyst. I put that question and all the above to you, sir.
You know, the one thing that occurs to me is, you know, we're all familiar with the HBO show Succession, which is a roman à clef about the Murdoch family and Fox News and so forth. And so many of the things that you've been talking about over the last few minutes, each few of them is like an episode of Succession. The Zoom call, the banning back and forth. It's like these two old men. I mean, Rupert Murdoch is, I think, over 90. He's quite old, but 91. Just the back and forth and. You know, one thing that comes out is this is what happens when you're a corrupt news organization, right? There are one of the benefits of being a real news organization is that you keep basically on track by needing to cover the news, right? You're not in fights with the presidential candidate who you run or runs you or something like that, or trying to get, all this kind of stuff. There's, as you said earlier, there are lots of problems with, the big corporate news organizations. Sure. But this is something that generally keeps them on track, is that you always know that you are supposed to report at least what you think is the truth at the moment. Right. And that can change. You can be wrong. No one's perfect. But that's the big thing that jumps out to me. One thing I want to mention, this has been, as you mentioned, Murdoch has been back and forth on Trump for a while. They started off at the very beginning back in 2015, treating him as a joke. He kind of went to war with Fox. Fox did with him. But as soon as Trump was the guy, they got on board. And I don't think there's any question that is what is going to happen again. And, another part of this, you have
build on your point, and then you finish. That's why we're seeing this so early, because they know they either stop Trump in this primary early, or a former president who's also Donald Trump becomes the nominee, and then they're stuck with him in the general, and they're stuck with what everyone would gird to be a January 6th sequel with more training. And I'm not trying to be alarmist, but Rupert Murdoch is not dumb, and he understands exactly what they're up against. So we're flushing out earlier a fight that might have normally come later. So that builds on, I think, the point you were making. I'll let you continue.
Well, and to that point, they know that if he's the guy, if he's the nominee, they will have to not only support him, but lie on his behalf, right? This is, again, an issue you don't have to grapple with if you're not a corrupt news organization. But what I was going to mention before is, just after, a while after January 6th, when Fox was sort of going back and forth, are we gonna call Arizona for him? Are we gonna support the big lie or not? For a while, he was sort of shadow banning them, and there's all these different, there's OANN, there's a half a dozen of them now, Newsmax, there's all these other kind of Fox clones. And for a while, he was like, hey, I'm going to get behind one of these and I'm going to take you guys out because you haven't been sufficiently loyal. And so this battle that is, based on the corruption of both of them it's really quite a melodrama. It really, it's better than Succession in a way, and in some ways it's funnier if it weren't real.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd say better and so much worse.